Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Hello and welcome to Lockdown How We Laughed. No, fuck, that's my podcast. No, that's not intro. Sorry, man. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Hello and welcome to a new run of podcasts with me, Jimi Longmuir from Backbone, and I used to do Lockdown How We Laughed, and now I hated that podcast because it was people sitting in a house, and I'm trying to do live podcasts, introducing people who have been doing comedy for the past 2 years. I've got loads of photographs of them. We're going to talk about the photographs. And for my first guest, I've got a very good friend of mine, somebody who's I'm very, very, very fond of, who I've been on your podcast, Andrew, several times, and I wanted you to be the first guest in mine, my first live one. So, without any further ado, can I please welcome Andrew Durning from Ginger Media Limited.
Yeah, mate, great to be here, man. Thanks so much for having me. And it's weird being the one that's actually coming on to a podcast for the first time, rather than it going, right, can I get you guys on? And they go to me, I've never done one of these before. Well, you're in safe hands, my friend. You're in safe hands. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Brilliant to be on, man. Thanks so much for having me.
That's all right, man. That's cool. That's cool. So you've gigged for quite a while, but you dip your toe in and out of comedy and all that.
Yeah, well, officially, I came back to it 3 years ago, and it was with yourself.
Yeah, trigger warnings. Yeah.
Yes, my first gig back. I'd been told for, you know what it's like. People tell you for years you should do stand up because you're funny. And I never thought it was funny.
Funny how?
I always say I'm witty and I'm clever. Let's see if there's guys like I know, like I know you and my mates and that, my family, and I know what I can get away with and say and not say. I'm like, right, I can blast it and I can have them pissing themselves laughing, basically. But doing it on stage has always felt really alien to me, which is weird because I've done acting for 30 years and most of them were comedy plays, but you knew the material was solid and you just had to bring it to life.
Yeah.
It's you writing your own stuff and then trying to do it and go, laugh at me for all of my mistakes and screw-ups, and then they don't, you go, that actually makes me feel worse. And I don't know why. So I did it and kind of tried to dabble with different things. Like I did a parody album, which was like Weird Al Yankovic, basically.
I took words right out of my mouth.
Weird Al Yankovic, but a Scottish version, and it was ironically called Ginger Parodies. You're seeing a theme here. But it was to raise money for a friend of mine's theatre group for kids with special needs. Wound up raising £250.
Wow.
And I did a couple of those as live gigs as well to see if I could blend the comedy and the music together. It did not work. But they loved the CDs. They just didn't like actually seeing me. And I'm like, okay, fair dues. And then I did another one, which was like volume 2. He brought back up because I brought like loads of singers that I knew with me to do it. And that was actually the month before we went into lockdown.
Oh my god!
But we were in the studio and got it done. And I'm like, okay. But it was about £100 we raised just because of the time that was for Brothers in Arms, the men's mental health charity.
Yeah.
As well. And then during COVID, I took no mentally, completely knackered.
Well, it was kind of I've done a podcast.
I know.
And fucking, it's left me with this permanent state of singing fucking mana mana.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, like at least you started it with that. We were
the t-shirt.
We were coming out of lockdown when I started doing this stuff, and they were like.
I think that entire situation, the global pandemic, it just changed everything. Yeah.
It definitely changed a lot for me. Because I was in the 9 to 5. I was working in the financial sector. Steady job, all that stuff. The stuff that everybody thinks is fine, and because we just had twin boys, I was like, okay, kind of ride it through. But when the pandemic hit and I lost my aunt, and I had the kind of breakdown, it was like that switch kind of went off in my head where I was like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to. Like, I would rather be like happy, and have no money than be miserable and everything looks fine. So I took the chance. I thought, do like that Mental Ginger show, because I'd done a cover of Flower of Scotland for Sam H, and it raised £750. And I thought, well, mental health and the arts I'm still passionate about. Let's see what we can do to try and bring it forward. And I thought, have a few guests on, see how it goes. And you saw it yourself. It kind of just blew up to the point where I was like, I don't know if this is a fluke or not. So what's the one thing that I can do and I know about that everybody would be like, what is he smoking? Thomas the Tank Engine.
Did you see Money Train?
Oh yes, of course I did. Anything that has any link to like steam engines, Thomas, all that stuff, I am on that. I'm like a rat up a drain
Because
pipe.
I remember when it first came out and I was trying to get you to watch it, but I wasn't telling you why I was getting you to watch it, and you were like, your brother said or something, and I'm like, that motherfucker!
Yeah.
Spoiler, the ultimate
Yep.
spoiler.
Oh, it was brilliant though. But so I done that one.
I was like, you're not the only one, Andrew. There's other nutcases that are into Thomas.
Oh, there's plenty. I'm actually the most sane, which I found out because there is a big community of them.
Yeah.
So the Ginger Engine.
What do they call them?
Like, it's just like the Thomas fandom. Like I call the fans of mine.
Thomasinians.
I call the fans of my channel. I call them my steamies. Is it steam trains?
Steamies, of course, man.
And then like anybody that's not sure of them, I go, right, you guys are the normies. So I did that thinking, right, we'll see how it goes.
You should get really like you should get really sort of dismissive of normies and cults.com fat controllers. If I could use another fat controller.
There's a video about that one.
No shit about Thomas.
There's a video about that one, like, you know, because apparently you're not allowed to call them fat controller anymore.
Oh,
but especially over in
I know. I think that's right, man. Us fat people. Sorry. I know you're about to complain about political correctness going mad, but I'm on side with that one, man.
Well, it's mostly in America that they don't agree with it. So, like, I done a video on it going, like, see if you just want to call him by his
actual...
actual...
Americans now don't even agree with Ringo Starr being the voice.
Oh, that's because they've had George Carlin, they had Alec Baldwin, so they had like. So again, Baldwin, that's where the normies don't know about it, and I'm like, well, hey, here we go. So they
had Alec Baldwin as well.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. Yeah, he did the 5th and the 6th series and the first Thomas movie. But the 6th series was when he was going through his divorce with Kim Basinger, and everything just went right downhill for him. I mean, they've had where
did it go now? Like Underverse, man?
Yeah, who knew what was coming? But they've had loads of people. They've had like Eddie Redmayne, John Hart, Olivia Colman. That's a video I'll be bringing out at some point. Whenever this comes out, it'll either be on or be on the way. But these are the things I'm trying to do as well and go, it was more than a kids show because there's a huge adult fandom. Lots of people relate to it. Like, even when I really struggle, I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch it to try and make me feel a bit better. And it's something that I know about. So that took off and I was surprised. And I thought, right, let's see if it's just me. So I got my mate Kev Tierney, and he done, at the time it was Super Ginge.
Yeah.
But the plan was, like, see how it goes. And if he gets the response he's going, pass it over to him. And luckily we've had that. And Gentle Dorks is now becoming the thing for it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I need to actually set up a media company or I'm paying 3 sets of tax. Screw that. So Ginger Media was born. And that'll become up 2 years in July. It's been running.
Superb, man. Excellent. So
it's like just like making sure you open the coffee right at the mic so everybody goes.
Well, I'm learning.
Of course you're learning, man. That's the whole point. And that's why I wanted to do this week as well. Like, you know, I made tons of screw ups doing my stuff. Like, you watch the early ones, like, of that Metal Ginger, go right back to, like, we're experimenting in lockdown. They were pish. They were absolutely horrible. But I keep them up because you go, right, that's where you started, and look how far you're going to go. And you go far with it. I mean, look at the stuff you've done with your comedy gigs.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely blown away by it, the stuff that you do.
I know, but I'm aware of how differently I'm trying to do stuff.
Different doesn't mean bad, you know that.
I know, but it's like it's kind of amateurish, but in the sense that I genuinely don't know where I'm going with it.
Well, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be back doing comedy, and I wouldn't have the confidence that I'm getting with doing other stuff as well. Because
but I think there's a path that you're meant to follow in comedy. Like, you're meant to, you know, new material at the week, big hits at the weekend, get on at the clubs, tour the country. There's so much stuff that you're meant to do that I'm simply not doing. Do you know what I mean? I'm gigging quite a lot. I've got my own gigs quite a lot. But I'm more interested in the running of a gig.
I picked up the brochure, the Glasgow Comedy Festival brochure, because I was out with my mum having coffee. Well, yeah, I am that guy that goes out and has coffee with his mum. Deal with it. And I saw the brochure and I thought, right, through you, I now know plenty of people as well. And page 3, actually page 4, because I was like, he's not a page 3 model, but he's there. And you were there, and I just seen like. I was like, I'm in there. It was like, you see the wee tiny circle there. But if you know where it is, you look for it. And I'm like, I made it in. I don't even know if I'm actually on at that point. I didn't. But I'm in it.
Well, it's just, I mean, the concept for that flyer is just like, it's sort of me in the middle, and then a good representation of all the acts that I like on trigger warnings around it. I think it looks like too many acts. It looks as if maybe there's all those acts are going to be on, and for all I know, they might be.
Well, in fairness, I've looked through, like, I looked through the rest of the brochure, and I was doing that kind of, essentially me and the kids done spot the difference of finding who's on it that's actually in that photo as well, and there's a few of them that have came from that, so you should be really proud of that, mate.
Oh, well, I am to some extent, but I'm bad at taking compliments. I'll try and downgrade it somehow. But anyway, that actually is a perfect lead-in to looking at the pictures of said gigs. So, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's do this. Right, let's have a wee look at these. Let's see. Oh, man. First thing I notice is like my big baldy napper, like from when I just cut my hair. It's just like that shining streak just across it. But it's a good picture because it kind of sums up like how what I was when I started. Because it's like I'm always head down. Don't trust what I'm doing.
The first pictures from Giggles and Guffaws.
Yeah.
We're not actually going to deal with those pictures right away, but I think that's a good picture to sum up.
It really is.
Like Giggles and Guffaws, the project that we had at McCool's. I was a host and you were the organiser and maestro.
Because I was like. But is that way I was so out of my comfort zone that day, like,
and we had a lineup of people.
Yeah,
and we were recording it. We put it out pilot on internet, and we're hoping to do more at some point.
Hopefully, yeah. Like it's still getting good responses. Like, from the people that were on it.
It was such a great thing to be part of, but we'll save that until.
It was more proof to see, like, can we do this and can we get it set up, and then have a look at it afterwards and go, right, what do we need to improve on? Am I there to getting it where I need it to be? Not at this precise moment, but it's definitely going to be on.
And now we're on to trigger warnings.
I
think that's one of your favourite pictures.
That was only my second gig. that was my second gig in 9 years, and I actually wasn't meant to be on that day because I'd done the first one the first night, and I thought I was going to bomb it badly. And then you're like, you want to come back the next night? And I'm like,
well, you saved that for the second night.
Aye. And I was like, aye, all right. So I brought that, and a lot of people don't know, you know yourself, but I don't remember that because I had a panic attack before I went on stage. Like the only thing I could remember was you saying my name to come on, and then I was home and I was lying down with my wife Alison, like just lying down, and I was like, how did I get home and why is my face wet? I was like, because I'd been greeting, apparently like going on about how much a failure I was.
But I think that's what happens with comedy. We put too much pressure on ourselves for a start.
Yeah.
And the never lives up to our expectations. We're on another one. This is the crowd from Trigger Warnings that night. I can't remember if it was the first or second night, but I always think when I see these pictures, that's what we're in it for.
Yep.
We're in it to make people smile.
Yep. That was the first night. Like, cause there's
a
Adele
on the bottom corner there.
Yes, like she's going on to do really well too.
She's been amazing, yeah.
Like another guest in the show.
Yeah.
Like, cause everybody keeps saying to me, like, it's like, Andy, like, why are you not doing the show anymore like that at this precise moment? And I'm like, well, think about when all the main gigs are coming up as well, like Glasgow Comedy in March, Fringe in August, and the amount of comedians I've had on, that channel will be active because I'll be promoting you guys, going, rewatch this video and come and see what they're about. This is the type of person you want to go and see. And it's like yourself, Jimmy, like Brian Kavanagh, Adele Burkmeyer, like I've had loads, like Ray Coley, who's now doing one of his own nights. Like I've had loads of people on that are coming to do it. Like even young guys like Mick Mac.
Yeah.
Like who's just starting out. Like it's just brilliant to do it. Let's see this one. This was my first one. This was the first gig. Big Brian Kavanagh. Oh man, like that was before like I even needed glasses. I mean, that was before my kid had poked my eye so bad that they went, "You need glasses because you can barely see." That was down to SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's a good picture. I like that picture. I love the green room pictures in McCool's. Yeah, it's a really nice sort of green room.
Yeah, I still look at that picture and think, man, I actually did that because that had been 9 years since I had been on stage in general.
Yeah.
Like, because my confidence had just dropped and it was just so hard to do it. And then I thought, fuck it, try it and see. Like, go to it, like, and if it's at that point it was a one-time thing. Here we are 3 years later. But yeah, it's a brilliant picture, and yeah, I just thought it was a great time as well. Like, just all the acts that were on. Again, like Adele was on that night as well.
Is Adele up for you just now?
Hold on, just waiting to see. It's like all of it's like roulette.
See, we dropped out of sync because I'm coming off Google Drive and it started for a minute, so
it's all right. But she's up now. But
that's Adele. Yeah. One is that was a first. There's actually another picture video where she said something about me and her stick, and I collapsed laughing on stage. Like I'm bent over laughing, and she's just walking by me with a stick, and I couldn't find it to use it for a slideshow.
Oh
But
man,
that was such an amazing 2 nights, man.
yeah. I mean, were you doing the comedy fest before ad came on? Had you been a regular on it? We're doing trigger warnings.
No,
was that the first year?
Actually, my friend Ed Hooper done trigger warnings in the Griffin, 2019, 2 nights, and I kept the name, and it became the thing for McCool's now.
Yeah. You have to make sure he doesn't go right. That's my name. I want copyright.
It's all cleared. It's all above
cool.
board. He doesn't do comedy anymore, but I like the name. And I wanted to retain the spirit of pre-lockdown stuff. Trigger warnings we done in the Griffin.
Yep.
But have you moved on to?
It's moving now. Oh man.
Remember that night? Yeah.
Yes, I do, because I remember like the certain person that's on that collapsing and me darting for the back room.
Yeah.
To go and make sure.
Oh, that was another cool night, man.
Another night that I had a panic attack.
I know. I'm like, oh
that
my
name.
God,
That name Teresa Green is going to be stuck in.
Trigger him.
Yeah. Well, it's called trigger warnings.
Well, that was crushing it at Club 100. You weren't actually on the bill that night, but you came along.
No, I came along to support. That was Alison and I's anniversary.
Right, I remember. Yeah,
she came along as well. So it was when Graham Mackey came on, and it was that Teresa Green.
Teresa Green.
That name is stuck in my head, because she just didn't know when to. Because it's like, you appreciate, you can have a heckle here and there, but it's like, when to stop. But that was what triggered me, and I noticed it beforehand. I was like, Alison, I'm going outside. I think I'm taking a panic attack.
Was it because she was heckling, like? Because
the heckling back and forth. I just felt like. For me, it felt like the vibe was
What a Wonderful World, no, that like.
Aye, and he's singing "Why Haven't I Got a Gun" instead. And another one that was on it, Claire.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite backstage photos all time. It's Joyce Catnach giving Colin McGregor a hug.
Yeah.
And Lorraine talking to Claire, and that's one of my all-time favourite backstage photos.
I knew Claire. I've known Claire for a very long time. We did acting together in the Airdrie Arts Guild.
Right.
So we did acting then, and then she went on to college to do her HND act performance.
Well, when she headlined Trigger Warnings.
Aye, she was fantastic. Because I remember, because I wasn't at that point, I didn't know who was headlining. Then I came out and I saw her, and then she looked at me like, "What the fuck you doing back?" I thought you gave all this up, and I was like, "Yeah, I gave up going on stage." And it's like Sean Connery, never say never. And then she's like, "Are you going on stage?" And I'm like, "Aye." She's like, "Oh." And I'm like, "Yeah, oh, let's see how this goes." But Claire's absolutely lovely. She's brilliant. It's moving on now. I love the way it's done, because it's like a wee Russian roulette wheel. Let's see.
That's the
giggles and guffaws
meeting for giggles and guffaws.
Yeah. Else, I was actually seen Scott Galloway.
Scott Galloway and John McKeegan.
Yeah. Well, I actually seen Scott a couple of weeks back. Like, he's now had his third kid.
Right, excellent.
Yes, I was like, can you put down your holster, mate? I've had 2. I know about this. But Scott's a brilliant guy. Like, he's actually working on an album.
Right.
What of his own stuff as well. John, he's back doing Kitchen Porter in the now, but he's getting a lot of good photography gigs and stuff as well. Like,
he's a great photographer. He got much better photographs than I did at Giggles and Guffaws.
I would say that, man. I was like, I say like,
I always love a photograph like that. That's in Giggles and Guffaws as well, with the microphone as the crowd starting to come in. I always love that.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's a kind of a motif, I guess, with photographs.
Yeah.
But
has it moved on to the microphone now?
Yeah.
I'm still on us.
Oh.
It's starting now though. Don't worry. At least we could go right next.
Right,
we should
make
this.
Pause that for a second.
We should make this into a game. And do like how long is it going to take?
I'm going to have this on my phone, so I'm not relying on Google Drive.
Well, in fairness, let's see. I think it was that photo that I used. When we did when I came up with the intro sequence.
Yeah.
I think it was similar to that, but I think it was from when we done the very first trigger warnings.
Right.
And you'd had that. And I thought that's a brilliant photo to kind of start, because that's, like you said, that's what we're doing.
I always use it for posters and videos all the time, man.
It's
a very clear visual motif of what comedy is.
Definitely.
I mean, you always see like a stylised microphone in the lettering or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that type of thing's much better in the background. And the letterings, if you took the lettering away from the comedy poster or video or whatever, it would have no relevance. But you put it all together.
Yeah.
And there's a kind of magic,
Yeah, and like,
is that changing for you?
It's not changing just yet, but like I said, there is a time delay, but it's quite good, because you're going right. There's something here, and I'm like, oh, here we go. It's going now. It's going now. It's just going. Wait to stop. Brilliant.
John McKean,
Yeah.
Kavita Bardwaj in the background.
Kavita and
Chris
Chris
Wright
Wright
in the background.
Yeah, because that's when he was going over, like, you know, where they need to stand so the camera would pick up on them.
Wearing a t-shirt. He's lucky I didn't steal off him.
Yes. But what I found
Anthrax Dread. Excellent, man.
What I found so funny was he was doing that, you know, like, you don't go beyond this bit because the camera won't pick you up. And I love Chris so much. But he was always right at the front. So I'm like, we're solely relying on camera one here, buddy. But Chris's one-liners are brilliant.
Oh, Chris's one-liners. He's not gigging so much just now.
I know, and it's a shame.
He's always going in a huff with comedy.
In fairness, like,
it's I try to tell him the world's not going to fall at your feet. You need to get out there and fight. God damn it, fight! I'm going to send him the Rocky Balboa monologue when he shouted at his son.
Yeah, ain't how hard you
and
hit.
That ain't you, kid. Fucking get out there. Like, yeah.
Especially considering like where he
does my brain in, man.
Considering where he was like headlining in that, what the support act that he was, and I'm like, wow. But yeah, I think that can sum up comedy journeys in a nutshell, kid.
That's me talking to Chris there, man. Fucking.
Oh man,
he's got some amazing one-liners. He's beautiful presence and great delivery and all that. I wish he would do more comedy, but he doesn't. So
I really wish that he would do it as well.
But that I love that photograph because I used that as a profile photo for a while. I think on Twitter maybe.
Yeah.
It's just me going, oh my god, and I'm not actually like that. It's part of my set, you know.
Yes.
But
because I was going to say, I was like, I know at that point is where you're kind of talking about like the conditions that you've got, because that like because a lot of people say like, oh, like you're doing another gig with Jimmy. I'm like, yeah, that's like, I know his set inside out, so that way if I know someone's not gonna react what they're meant to, I'll go okay, and you can make a joke out of it.
Well, I think there comes a time when you get bored of your set though, you know, and you shouldn't, because there's Kavita again, man. That's such a beautiful one, the kills with the KLF and Daft Punk and all that in the background.
Yeah, it's a great shot, like, and again because it shows the audience as well. I mean, like down at the bottom corner, that's Tez, like, and she started doing her stand up as well.
I didn't even realise Tez was there that day.
Yeah, she was there, like, because
I would gig with Tez all the time. She's fantastic. I think I'll have to bring her and Rose on the podcast together though.
Definitely. Well,
they come as a pair. Like I seen them. They were doing a gig recently, and it was like Rose one month and Tez the next month, and I'm like, that's not how Rose and Tez work.
Well, in fairness, it's kind of similar with me. Like if they see that I'm doing a gig, they'll go, "Oh, Jimmy got you another spot?" and if I go like, "I'm actually doing this one," they go, "But where's Jimmy?" It's like it's a similar thing. Like you go for one, you expect the other.
The junkyard, but,
oh man,
they know where I'm there. But like fucking, I know it's you don't need somebody to do it. You just go out there and do it, no matter what the circumstances, you know.
Yeah.
And there you are, man. They're like doing it right, man.
Yeah. Again, that was giggles and guffaws, and well, that was the one that I was really bricking because my mum and dad were in the audience.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and I'm like, right, what can I get away with saying there?
Well, they quite rightly gave me the credit for all the work.
They did. They did. Like my dad had actually said.
I've waited all my life to be credited for things I definitely don't have any right to claim credit for.
I always say that as well with comedy. It was like, you know, the way that I knew, I thought, right, I might be onto something here, was if I performed at a night where everybody bombed, and when I got a wee bit of cash for it, and ironically it was the same night. I think the money was sympathy money, but I was always like you did it, mate. It's a participation trophy.
But you drew a great crowd for a Sunday afternoon, man. Like it was like 50 odd or something, man. It was bigger than any of the trigger ones.
50 were meant to come, but we got 35. Which was still great.
And we get great footage out of it, so.
Definitely, yeah. And there was, like I say, quite a few people.
And there we are, all happy at the end. D. Maxwell, Kevin Barbadge, Brian Kavanagh, Chris Wright, yourself, and myself.
Yep. I love that picture.
I always love cast photos like that, man.
Yeah, I always like to look at that one as well. And that's why I had to use that one for
should you, I don't know what you call those photographs. It is a cast photo, even though we're not in a play or anything like that.
Well, you're on stage, you're performing. It could be it essentially is a play. You're performing material you've wrote, you've directed, you've scripted. It is a play. It's a play on life.
You're a family for the night as well, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the best approach.
Yeah.
Just everybody's in it together. We're all in it together.
You're brothers in arms. Like no matter if the night goes great or the night goes bad, like you're all there to support each other. It's the ones that kind of go, "Oh, that sucked. Bye," and they're off, and you're like, "Right, where are you going? What are you doing?" You know, that is like. You know, like there's the ones that go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have to bail out now," and I'm like, I know other people do have gigs they go to. Like when they make that clear, it's fine. It's like I always feel it's a common courtesy for me, like to no matter what part of the act that I'm on the night, I want to stay to support everybody. And here we are.
back at Trigger Warnings
Oh,
again.
yes.
2023.
Yeah.
That was a really...
That was the only gig I done at the comedy festival that
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Because
Are you looking for more this year? Are you going to do more this year?
why have you got some for me?
Well, you're already doing Trigger Warnings, so...
Well, let's see. It's the way I kind of said it was, if I get asked, I get asked. What? And if I've got the availability to do it, I will. And if not, then I won't. I was like, because I mean, we spoke previously, like, you know, like I've got twin boys, like, and I want to make sure I see them grow up. And if there's stuff going on with them, they come first. I want the same with Alison as well. But if there's gigs that I can go to, and still do that and dip my toe in, fair dues. I think I was putting too much pressure on. Can I get a gig this month? Can I get a gig that month? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I thought, well, actually, you've got a media company to run. You've got a family to try and be there for. And if you can do comedy and talk about how the family's driving you nuts, but you love them anyway, then it works out.
Well, you can take them along and get them to see the Scottish Falsetto Sock Puppet Theatre.
Oh, yes, yes. I remember sitting there and I was like, it was more the technical aspects that I loved about it, because I was like, right, how are they doing this, and I wonder how they managed to get the feed working and all that kind of stuff. I
absolutely love the socks, man.
I
love that Kev Sutherland that basically is he's their manager.
Yes.
Right? He's their manager. The socks obviously exist.
Yes.
And he's
It's
in
like
character the whole
real.
time. Yeah, that's why I love him now. I love that shit.
Yeah. I just love the...
But I'm still not sure that worked, but it was great to have Kev be part of the show when he wasn't actually in Glasgow.
I loved
and
it.
it was like a wee film at the start, but I think maybe it should have been in the middle. I'm going to ask Kev again this year for Trigger Warnings, maybe just to win, because there's 3 this year.
I love these I'm a Sock song.
Yeah. But do you know his new show's Post Office Scandal, the musical? He's just such a
just the
lovely guy.
title alone, I'm like, I've got to go and see that.
And there's Lauren Stephen.
Oh man,
she's been on to some great success in the BCG Comedy Awards and all that, but
she's done
I think she's done amazing. She's done really well. I've always had a lot of belief in her. I think she's a fantastic act, and
it's one of the things
a great picture of her.
And as I said previously, it's one of the things you should really take note of yourself. Like ones that went on to do like really well with stuff that they've done, they were with you. But when they were starting,
I've Lauren's got to do shows.
Yeah.
She's doing Trigger Warnings again this year, and she's doing Lincoln Laughs as well.
Yeah, and you look at ones like, for example, like Kirsty Lynch.
Kirsty's doing amazing.
Came on scene and I met her that night.
Theatre 4 Twats together. So.
Yeah, and the first time I met her was that night in 2023, and she's just done amazing since then.
She's really working hard, and she's really impressing the right people. Yeah. She's a great act. She's a lovely person. She's amazing.
Well, I love any time that she's on, just because I know so at least one of my sides are going to hurt from laughing.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that she's talking about things that everyone will go, I don't know if they should talk about that, but she makes it so brilliant. She's fantastic.
Have you changed?
Yes, it's just changed around.
Another cast with Richie McMahon.
Yeah.
Kirsty, we're just talking about.
Yes.
Liam Doane. I know I forgot Liam's name.
Yeah.
Long Who, me and yourself, man.
Yes. Well, I kind of look like I'm posing for one of those serial rapist pictures. it's like.
Kirsty's just about to pop you in her bag.
Well, in fairness,
Liam was such a class act. He was really good to end his
Liam was fantastic. He was absolutely.
I've not actually kicked him since, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, he's going. He'll be doing his own show at the Pavilion, I believe.
Yeah, I see.
Like
and Lorraine, yet again this year, went to see him rather than come to one of my gigs. So actually, Liam Doane can get to fuck.
But in a way, that's good, because you can reuse that line.
I seen Gary Meikle. I was taking photographs for Mackie for the Stu Who's benefit gig.
Yeah.
And I met Gary Meikle for the first time. Lovely guy, man.
Well, a little unknown.
But I said to him, I've been trying to get Lorraine's family to buy tickets for my shows for years.
Mm-hmm.
They finally did buy a bunch of tickets to go to shows, and it was one of that cunt's fucking gigs.
Oh man.
They were laughing
about I'll tell you a funny story about Gary Meikle as well.
At Lincoln, man.
Yeah, I think that was my second one there. I was that determined to get there that I forgot my glasses.
Is that your second one? I thought it was your first one. No,
my second one. Because the first one at least I had my glasses on me.
Did you not drop your glasses? I've got a photograph of picking up.
Yes, that was one of the nights I did. It was just all new stuff.
I'm going to love doing this podcast with these reels and then remembering here's what you could have had.
Yes, let's have a look at what you could have won.
Maybe I should do that.
Well, a wee fun fact. I actually did a gig with Gary Meikle before he became famous. I was doing the parody album. One of the clubs that I went to. I was actually going to support a mate of mine who was trying some stand-up stuff, and Gary Meikle was on the same venue. But he won't remember me now, because would he? Because he's done fantastic since then.
It's amazing to watch Gary's success, man. He's very inspirational.
Yeah, he's very genuine as well.
And another cast photo again with Kirsty, and there's Fungi and Steve Goldie and yourself, all in a Lincoln.
Yes.
I always want to get those cast photographs with the Lincoln Laughs TV spot in the background. But
I always keep them like these group ones. Like I'll always like make sure like to kind of save them, and like if I'm doing
I
anything.
could actually filled this reel about 40 times with group photos with you, man.
But I love the group shots because at least I go like there's other people that I perform with, there's other people I perform with. And then if anybody's asked me about stand up stuff, like, and I need to maybe go, yes, I actually did some stand up sometimes. Put that in and then give you a credit at the top as well. Like because there was one where I was talking about like kind of what I was planning doing for like the next year, like, and then it was like, wait, what am I doing stand up comedy wise? And it's like copyright Jimi Longmuir at the top. Well, and then I'll be linked to your YouTube channel as well. Because a lot of people like go, oh, does he do stand? I'm like, check out his YouTube channel. I was like,
to a quick aside, do you think I should set up a separate YouTube channel to do these podcasts on?
Well, it usually depends.
There you are, Halloween.
Oh,
Halloween.
man.
The night we were haunted.
That was
Alexander McNair, remember?
That was a trick or treat. That was a trick or treat. I think that was the night that was that the night I lost my glasses.
I think that was the same night. Yeah.
I
think that was the second one.
Yeah, that was the night I lost. My glasses just went flying off my head because I was talking about how cold water dipping was like going under the water. It was like Ric Flair going down or something.
Glass flew off the table.
Oh yeah. And it was
and
just
I cleaned it up before I get sued.
And it was so weird because I just booked him to come on that Metal Ginger show.
Yeah.
Well, and then I was like, you're going to be on that night too? And I was interviewing him the next morning just as he came off a night shift. From doing his shift, and I was like, bloody hell. And Neil Leaper was there as well, the Grim Leaper.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. He's doing the Lincoln for Andy's doing Backbone at the Griffin for Glasgow Comedy Festival. So I'm maybe trying to get one trigger warnings as well, but the lineups are really big, man.
Neil I've known quite when he was doing his it was a show Fleeto. It was about knife crime. And that was when I'd first met him because I was.
And there it is, the night from hell with my birthday and my family. Michael Mooney, Brian Mooney, Thomas Beppolo, and is that Calvin?
I think so.
Calvin Mack,
yeah.
Calvin Jones, Calvin Mack.
That was
people changing their names on Facebook. You never remember.
I know.
That was a hard night.
I
thought having my entire family along for a birthday meal before the gig would help the gig. I really did. Okay, I really did. I did not mean for it to be such a hard gig.
But in fairness, I am the only one yourself going
the perils are making it all about yourself.
I'm the only one that enjoyed that gig.
Because you're a fucking masochist.
What's your point, caller? But no, it was one of those ones I was like, as we talked about previously, where you become a family for the night, no matter if it's a good time or bad. That was one where we were like...
So that's why my family treated my other family like fucking...
It was
like as if they were at war.
That was funny, because one of the jokes...
That's reached the end.
The
one
end.
of my favourites, man.
Brilliant.
From that Trigger Warnings 2023, Hug on stage.
Yeah. As well, so that's one of the ones that
I think Lorden took that photograph, actually.
And I liked it as well, because that's actually one that I've not seen.
Yeah.
Like, where it says how... But... See when you watch like the Giggles and Guffaws palette as well, and I'm coming on and they're like, oh, it's just a hug, and I was basically bear hugging you, like, thanks for getting me through this night, because I was hanging like a rusty nail by that point.
It's a fantastic opportunity for me. You've done every bit as much for me as I've done for you, man. Honestly, all the times I've been on that Mental Ginger show, been on the fighting one.
The super fights.
You beat Superman against some fucking idiot from SpongeBob.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I've walked that.
Superman versus Mermaid Man.
It was
like,
no brainer, man.
Kev knew he was up against it, but he gave good. He
stand
gave
by me, think Superman could beat Mighty Mouse. Of course he could. That stupid wee dick, man.
That's fairness. At least you weren't on the one that was like the Powerpuff Girls versus PJ Masks. And I was like, that was absolutely brilliant. It's just
so we've reached the end of the slideshow.
Now the end is near.
And can you think of a song that you would like to accompany said slideshow in a faster?
It's ironic when you're saying that it's faster, but in a way it's a little bit slower but grander.
No, I mean the slideshow would be 90 seconds. So 90 seconds. So what song would you use?
I would have to use Frank Sinatra's My Way.
Really?
Because this whole thing...
Okay, but I'm calling this one, I'm going to use Sid Vicious's My Way.
Well, that's fair enough. I'm okay with that. But the reason that I would go with My Way is because that sums up everything that you and I do when it comes to whether it's comedy, whether it's like podcast, or whether it's media, whatever. We tried to go down like the quote unquote traditional routes. And we were the guys that would always be kind of looked at as if like, really, you? And then we thought, well, screw you. Let's do it. Let's just do it. we've got the experience. Like maybe we need to get a wee bit of tech. Maybe we need to get a wee bit more knowledge in X, Y, Z. But we can do it, and we can do it well. And these prove
doing it.
Because we're constantly going at it. Like, we're like, if you guys want to come, fair enough. If not, well, it's a night for us to work on new material. There's like these kind of podcasts and shows as well. What we could come on to other people's like shows and be like watching it and going, oh, we're so in awe, but we're like, we could actually run you guys under the table.
Well, when you jump neck in a bit.
No, there is something where they look so professional and they look so good.
Aye.
What? But when you look at the back end, you're like, I actually take this more seriously than you guys do.
Yeah.
It's like, and you wanted the show in the end product, like, and the end product is what always is the one that sells it. Like, and you said, what, your photos sell the end product every time.
I don't know, actually. I need to take issue with that, but I think I'm maybe using my photographs too much to promote my nights. I think there's a bit of pride in there. I need to think about, because Graham Mackey said to me in the summer, it's all about presentation. It's about how you present the gigs. And it does attract some people.
Yeah.
I'm not selling out rooms, apart from at the Fringe, you know. So I need to think about why that is, because I know I've got the product.
Yeah.
And I just need to think about how you get my product in the veins of those punters.
Yeah. But at the same time, though, like, you're passionate about photography.
Yeah.
You're good at it. What? There's a reason why, if I'm ever saying, like, I'm doing a gig, or if they're like, oh, make a wee, what pose are you doing, whatever, there's a reason why I use your photos.
Yeah, well, thanks, man.
What? They show it in the light that I want to show it at. It's me going and doing it, and it's also giving you credit because you took a chance, mate, when quite frankly no one else did. What? When it comes to comedy. What? And I'll always be grateful for that.
Well, hopefully we've got a lot more projects to work on together, man.
Well, we've definitely a couple that we are going to be discussing, like off air, of course, so we don't give any spoilers away. But
okay, and we'll save that for the epilogue in about 5 seconds, man.
Yeah.
So we've looked at the past. What about the future, Andrew?
Well,
What's the future hold for you? What's it hold for me? In case they're asking that.
Well, the way I tried to look at it was putting too many like things in front of me was what was causing me not to be well.
Yeah.
And I tried to look at it as, right, I'm going to try and take it not necessarily day at a time, but just one step at a time. Like, I mean, you knew how bad things got with me in 2023. And how much I worked to try and get out of that situation, which I'm finally now doing. And I thought, well, the best way I've done that was taking it step at a time. When it's mentally healthy, try and get through the next minute, the next two, the next half an hour, baby steps. And it's the same way with this. Like, there's a couple of big things that I want to do with Ginger Media like this year. One's a collaboration with October 15 Productions.
Brilliant.
And then there's one that we want to do ourselves, which I have inquired with you about.
Yep.
And
which we're going to.
It's like, just to clarify, we're not doing gear. It's just ourselves just now.
Actually, me and my mate Richie McMahon do Bunglaugh. He does Bunglaugh, and he's always in Lincoln Laughs, and we do a lot of shows together. We're actually at Twin Titans coming up in the Glasgow Comedy Festival anyway. Talking about doing podcast ideas, and we're going to do Comfort Zone.
Yeah.
And we thought about you, because it's going to be like me taking a driving lesson and him playing a computer game and just people doing things way out the comfort zone. I said, let's get wee Andy on and get him on the gear. That's literally, I could screenshot that message and send it to you. He got me my laugh emojis, which is all I really look for with messages.
Yeah, as long as it gets the laugh, that's the main thing.
Although, just for the sake of the camera, can I point out I have absolutely no intention of getting you on the gear, and I've got no intention of getting anywhere on it myself.
Yeah, no, definitely. But it's that way. You know it yourself. You take it step at a time. Once you've built something, you build more, and then you see what you can add and expand on it. And that's the way I'm kind of treating this. Like, that Mental Ginger show, as you know, that's stopped. Because it was taking too much out of me. Then rather than getting what I could get out of it.
Yeah.
When those scales start to turn, that's when you know you need to take a step back.
But I think that's a natural progression for anything. But once you diversify, and I think that Mental Ginger show is still a brand. I still think of it as part of your brand, but it's not what you're wanting to focus on right now. And that's probably best for you.
Yeah, and it's one of the ones that, like, it gets people in the door, and then they find out what else is behind it.
Yeah.
And then they realise what else is going. Like, the most successful one is the Thomas the Tank Engine channel. Out of it all. and I'm as surprised as that as you are, but there's a passion there. I can talk about that for days.
Yeah.
There's plenty of content ideas that I have.
We've only got a limited amount of time.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, there's 111 videos on it, which is a lot. Like, how can you do even like more than 10 on that? But there's plenty that I can talk about.
We can
on
cover Ringo Starr, Alec Baldwin,
Yeah,
George Carlin.
There's so much you can cover
Olivia
on
Colman.
it. There's so much you can cover on it, and it's a passion. It's something that I've loved, and we're just going to keep it going and building the foundations.
An entire episode devoted. Should Fat Controller, yes or no?
Yeah. That actually was done. If you want to check that out on it, guys. But yeah, but there's so many things.
More ignorance. My mate's channel now, shit.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. You go with it. You go make sure the foundation's solid before you start doing it again. Yeah. And we're making sure that is ready to go. And we've spent these 2 years. We've built our name up. People actually know it. They're just this mad ginger guy who bought a camera one day and went, "Why not?" And I'm like, "Actually, no, I didn't. I just used my phone." but it's grown from where it is now. I want to keep the steady progression. We've got like a wrestling channel now. We've got one where we're covering the lower leagues of Scottish football. My brother was even on board doing one about Transformers. So if you think
I remember.
If you think me and Thomas is not expect, he's the prime example though of what I want.
Yeah,
Daniel's not really. I love him to death. He's my brother, but he's not a media guy. He never has been. But the fact he thought, I can do this with him, I showed him what to do, and he's loving it and he's flying with it. That's my goal with stuff. Help people. And if they want to branch out and do it on their own, if I'm a small part of their journey, at least I can say I was a part of it rather than not.
Yeah, totally, man. Totally. It's a great. Ginger media is fantastic, man. It's what. I mean, it's not what I aspire to, but it's a model that I think that could work.
Yeah, it's essentially what you
I mean,
are doing.
That's what I said to you when I was thinking about doing this. I was like, I want you to be the first guest because of your expertise and your experience, and because I like talking to you. Do you know what I mean? It's always fun in podcasts. So.
Definitely, man. It's the same way that you are with comedy as well. Like, you get people in, they'll come and do it. But if they go off the greater things, you can also say, I help them on their journey. And that's a great feeling to have. And then you're still carrying on building your brand as a comedian, as a promoter, as an entertainer, as a booker, an organizer, because there's so much that you probably don't realise you do when it comes to
I get asked to do something. I've asked to do something in preparation for something. I can't say what it is, but I get given a task that I was a wee bit overwhelmed and grateful for the opportunity. And I was saying to a couple of my mates, I was like, "Oh, they've asked me to do this." And I'm like, yeah, because you know what you're doing. And I'm like, since when? What the fuck?
Aye. It's the same
when
deal.
Did that happen?
It's the same deal like when you're saying, I wanted you on here because of your expertise. And I'm like, how the hell?
You met me, right?
I'm like, yeah. I was like, you have met me. Where did you get this idea from? But it's the same deal. Like someone messaged me looking for a wee bit of advice or maybe to do something like a design for like a promotion thing or something. And I thought, I'll have a look and see what I could do. And I couldn't do what they were looking for. I really tried, but it was I just wasn't I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And the hardest part was admitting that to the person and going, look, I've got a contact. Ironically, the person that done my Ginger Media logo.
Right.
And then the person that done my Ginger Engine logo.
Right.
So I gave them those two contacts going, they done the logos. I would highly recommend if you're wanting to do that. But I feel bad that I couldn't help you. But that person appreciated the fact that I was honest about it. It's just knowing sometimes you're not there yet, but then you get that in your head, I want to be. Let's see how we can go. And you'll find that with us as well. You'll look back in these humble beginnings with me and go, why the fuck did I have that ginger guy on? What was he talking about? And then you'll get 100 episodes in and like, look how far I've came since then.
You know something? All the photographs I wish I'd put into that slideshow, we could probably do another one tomorrow.
Well, again, if you're wanting me back on once, feel free. Like I said, you're still the 5th highest video on that.
Fifth? I was 4th last time I counted.
Repeat viewing, one did overtake. But yeah.
I mean, I always say that, right? But it's kind of a reference to the Flight of the Conchords. You know what I mean? Like New Zealand's second most rated, like pop folk band or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'm well aware of the limitations of what I'm saying. But I was quite chuffed with that. I was like, 4,500 people have watched me talk pish. Excellent, man.
Yeah.
That's That's more than I've ever seen me do comedy on stage.
Yeah. I swear, only 2,000 of those were me.
Actually, I've got a mate that I thought was a really high rated podcast for lockdown, and it turned out they were listening to themselves. They were like, yeah, that was me, and I'm like, the fuck, that was you. The fuck?
And I mean, in fairness, like there's little tricks like that they do and they don't tell you about. Like, I do watch some of my episodes back, but it's more so I can look and go, right, what bits did I do well? What can I do for improving upon it and going like that? And then also, my kind of warped brain, if I see a video that's on, like, you know, a number has a 9 at the end of it, and I want it a round number, I'll watch it to get to that.
Get another like.
Just to get that.
I do that. I hate people liking their own posts all the time. But if there's a post that's got 22 likes, I genuinely will do one just to get it to 23. And then if somebody else likes it, I'll unlike it so it stays at 23. And then, you know, if it gets over that, I'll start blocking people. And
so it's the same deal. Like,
you ain't done nothing but your blocks, so just do those less.
Aye. But I do that. Like, if somebody went,
I'll send them abusive emails just to fucking get them to rescind their Facebook likes.
It was like I did a video on one of my channels, and it was, should you like your own posts now, or like your own videos? And I was like, you should. And they were like, isn't that a bit narcissistic? I'm like, no, because if you don't like your own product, then why are you putting it out in the first place? Like, because you've done that, you've put the time in, the dedication, and the commitment to do it. If you don't like it, how do you expect other people to? And they were like, didn't think about that. And it's like, yeah, because you don't have a mental brain like I do.
So, in that note, I fully expect you to like all the posts that go up for this.
Definitely, man.
And that's us pretty much coming up to time. So, have you got anything that you want to say before we go?
I'll just like obviously keep tuning into this. I'll be tuning in, and listening to it with all the interviews you do. But if you're interested in ginger media, feel free to look us up and let you know all the socially stuff. Like, if anybody is a fan of Tom's the Tank Engine, like, first of all, I apologise, but then check out the Ginger Engine as well, and just keep giving Jimmy some support as well.
Thanks very much, Andrew. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, and
Pleasure,
see
mate.
you again very, very soon. In fact, we'll see you on Sunday.
See you soon. Off here. So see you Sunday. Aye.
So, listeners, viewers, that's it for this first podcast, and hopefully be many more. My name's Jimi Longmuir. This has been Andrew Durning. We are out. Cheers.
Yep.
Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana.